and having to be rebooted 2 minutes before the show starts. That's nerve-wracking shit. But you know what? Think about these specials.
Mm-hmm.
We could do it. We could just do it next week if we had to, or tomorrow. Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Saturday. How we doing? I've got Mario with us, and tonight we are going to be talking about brown people.
We're going to be talking about Indian culture in respect to immigration and basically how our immigration system is a sieve. Okay, you've heard people on the right, okay, talk for years, okay, or at least if you're listening to the right people, okay, if you're reading the right stuff, that illegal immigration is a disaster. Illegal immigration became existential crisis tier under the Biden administration. All right, and illegal immigration.
True.
Yeah, and illegal immigration has been really a disaster in this country since when everything started going to hell right after 9/11. Okay, 9/11, for reasons I don't understand, with the actions taken by the United States government, with the Patriot Act, right, with the new marshaling of the American people to go and fight a crusade to combat the jihad overseas, right? At the same time that we were doing that, we also just let the border open. Okay, just let people cross the border in numbers never before seen. That's been happening for the last 25 years. Okay, under Biden, it actually became a character. It became a caricature. Okay, it became like a bad joke. Okay, and how bad it had gotten. Now all of that, and right now the southern border, okay, for the most part, has been effectively locked down. So that's a good thing. Is that rain in the background? But what are you doing? Are you posting stuff?
Patrick asked, "Is that rain in the background?" And I said, "No, it's fans." But I said it to everybody, so it posted 3 times.
I see. Okay, so right, so yes, illegal immigration has been a disaster in this country. Illegal immigration has effectively created 5th, 6th, 7th, potentially 8th columns within our country, okay, of teeming groups of unassimilable immigrants, okay? Not that I even want to assimilate them. I just don't want them, okay? At this point, I just don't want them. I'm fed up with it, all right? But
okay, hold up. Don't go sharing too much. We're still in we still got 7 more minutes of freebie.
True. Sorry. Let me pull that back.
So before you get any further down spoiling the show, let me talk about racism for a minute. Because the topics we're going to cover tonight, and topics we often cover on this show, are the kinds of things that if you try to talk about them in public, somebody will say, "Oh, you're a racist. You just hate Indians because they're brown people." Okay, hold up. First things first. We're talking about a cultural problem. And the root of that cultural problem, at least in this context, is that honor, the concept of honor, is a concept that is exclusive to white Western civilization. Every other place in the world does not have it as a concept. Right?
The Japanese come close. Yeah.
There are 2 exceptions. The Japanese, and what they have is not the same thing as the Western concept of honor, because what they have is essentially the social concept of reputation, not the same thing.
That's right.
It is performative. It is fundamentally different, right? And then the Spaniards took something similar to that to Mexico before the rise of La Raza and the admixture of the Azteci to the Spaniard. But it has changed with the cultural admixture of the Aztec culture and a few other native cultures down there to be something more of a to be more focused on machismo.
Machismo, exactly. Okay, this is good. This is good. We're synced up, despite doing no pre-show prep. That's good.
When Western white people talk about honor, a big part of that concept, it's something we try to ingrain in our soldiers in the military, right? We call it in the military, we call it moral courage, right? No, not moral courage.
Uh,
Uh, yes,
personal,
it's moral
personal,
courage because it's the acronym is leadership.
is it a
Personal courage, that's what they
personal
call it.
courage?
That's
Personal
the
courage.
phrase. Yeah, personal
Damn.
courage, and it should be referred to as moral courage, but the Army calls it personal courage because of the acronym thing we were talking about. They wanted to make the acronym leadership,
Leadership. Right.
not leadership. It should have been leadersham. You ever been in the Army? Woo! But the point is, the idea is that you do the right thing. The idea is that you do the right thing for no other reason than that it is the right thing to do.
Correct.
And that you do not act differently when you are observed, right? You are not a light particle. You are not light, right? Observed, depending on observation, light is either a particle or a wave. You are not. You are always what you are. That's
Right.
what honor is
Yep.
that your word can be trusted, and you do the right thing even when no one sees you do it. The Japanese concept of honor, they don't even call it honor. They don't even have a word for honor in Japanese. What they have, they call it face, because the point is you do the right thing when people are watching, and sometimes doing the right thing means you strike the enemy down when he is weak, or you strike the ally down when he is weak, because if he were a valuable ally, he would not be weak. And so what Mario calls me up and says, "Hey Lowry, I got a body I need to disappear." Okay, cool, no questions. I'll be there in 6 hours, no problem. Right? The Japanese concept there is, how can I turn this to my advantage?
That would
Right?
also
If
be
you ever hear the expression "friends don't count favors,"
yeah,
that is not something that Japanese culture understands, or any other culture. Now, tonight we're going to be talking about Indian culture, which is one, as we'll get into in more detail after I kick you freeloaders off of Facebook and YouTube and X. In their culture, their culture is almost anathema to the Western concept of honor.
correct.
Now, back to the criticism that things we say in this context, in this regard, are racist. Okay, for one, that word has lost a lot of power over the last few years because of its abuse and overuse. But never forget what that word is used for in the modern context. It is used to discredit, exactly, to silence you and to discredit you when you're making a good point. And the fact is this. Race is an indicator of cultural origin. Cultural origin is a valuable, one of the most valuable indices you can imagine for understanding how dealings will go between people. Right? As simple as knowing which jokes to tell in which kind of mixed company. Right? So what is generally referred to as racism, until you start talking about using government authority to institutionally disenfranchise individual races, a thing that is only done to white people in the United States.
Right.
Until you start talking about that kind of a thing, what you're really talking about is the most effective hermeneutic heuristic that is available to you as a person operating in the world with five senses.
Yep. That is correct. Patrick Brown says that racist, bigot, fascist, they're all useless words now. Yes, they are. Okay. And I've said this on this program several times. I call it the R word. Okay. Because racist is just the N word for white people. Okay. That's what it is. It's a word, like Chris said, to discredit you and to shut you up. Okay. And to basically tell, it's a code that tells other people around you, okay, who are, probably NPCs to a degree, okay, really just going along to get along, following the crowd, being heavily influenced by, the zeitgeist, right?
Right.
Would be
And
the
every time you hear that
theme
word,
of the day.
every time you hear that word, it is going, unless it's like in a conversation like this where we're defining terms. Every time you use that word, you hear that word used in conversation, in context, unironically. What you are hearing is a person who wants something for free. They're looking for Gibbs, they're looking for Snickers bars on their EBT card, or they're looking to get out of an argument without making an actual argument. They're looking for a handout, even if that handout is purely intellectual. So, now all that, Mario, I got to tell you, brother, I dropped the ball last Saturday.
How so?
I ran the opener and I forgot to hit the kick everybody off button. Everybody moved over to Rumble and all the other numbers dropped to 0. But apparently I didn't hit the kick everybody off button, so we didn't get credit for last week's freaking 3.5 hour show.
Goodness.
That's all right, because we've already got like half our hours in for the month. So tonight and the next Saturday show covers it. But damn, that's aggravating.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
I'm not going to make that mistake tonight.
Almost.
You know how I know that?
Because you're
Not
yet.
Oh,
Not yet.
Come on.
Is it too late? Is it too late?
No.
I just okay.
I was going to.
I'm trying to give Fee some fan service here. Okay. She says she was telling one of your kids that we're more like Klingons and Nietzscheans. Okay. Well, Fee. Okay. If we want to keep that analogy going, then tonight's episode is about the Romulans. Okay. So.
Okay. So real quick, she mentions the Nietzscheans. I bet you don't know that reference. I know you know what the Klingons are.
Yeah.
The Nietzscheans. There's a series. It was the guy that played Hercules as the captain. And I can't remember the name of the series now, but
Kevin Sorbo.
Yes. But in there's a sort of analogous
Let me get some coffee.
race to the Klingons. And they're called the Nietzscheans. And they're an alien race that got their hands on some Friedrich Nietzsche. And their entire life philosophy is bent around self-improvement and the idea that they like discuss Nietzschean philosophy in depth repeatedly in the course of that show. And part of being a Nietzschean is like kind of future humanist self-augmentation, like they install Baraka claws in their forearms and shit like that.
They caught that Faustian spirit. Okay.
yeah. They make the deal.
It's the rise of
guys,
the Übermensch. All right.
I'm kicking off the freeloaders. We're gonna get into this.